I'm Josh Mabry and this is your evening CI News broadcast. Today's top stories: how should you make decisions? What is earnings management? And a horse falls from 35,000 feet and gallops away. But first we have atrocities linked to a Tanzanian gold mine. There has been reports of poison leaking into soil and water systems, police brutality and even murder. This all seems to be under the guiding hand of a Tanzanian mining company, Acacia, or at the very least their overarching social responsibility. Crossing live to the police station in Tanzania, we have Bill following up leads on the police investigation. Bill, what's the latest?
Thanks, Joss. I've travelled all the way here to Tanzania to see exactly what the local police think of this situation. Currently, no police officer has been available for comment on the alleged police brutality. And as far as I can tell, there is no active investigation on the crimes that have been committed by Acacia Mining. My money is on the local officers being paid off, choosing to ignore or even partake in the crimes being committed here at the North Mara mining site. This has been Bill Gates, coming to you live from Tanzania.
Bill is now down at the lake that is allegedly being contaminated by Acacia Mining. Bill, what's the situation down there?
In 2009, a toxic spill which contaminated the local Tagithi River prompted calls for closure of the mine. The toxins have seeped into the water table and contaminated the waterways, poisoning the local population, affecting the young and old most of all. There have even been reports of fatalities.
Fatalities? Did you just say people have died from the contamination? So it's not safe to drink the water?
Yes, that's what's being reported, Joss. Absolutely astonishing lapse in toxic waste management.
That's truly shocking news, Bill. Have you tested the water?
Well, Joss, here I have a sample I've taken from a contaminated river just minutes ago. Let's see just how bad this water is for you. Yep, that's definitely contaminated. I should probably go to the hospital immediately. This has been Bill Gates, live from Tanzania.
Thanks, Bill. Absolutely disgusting. You better get yourself off to the hospital. We'll catch you soon.
Thanks, Joss. I'm here outside the Musoma Hospital, where the victims of these crimes committed by Acacia Mining are being treated. There's been reports of excessive force by mine security and police involved in the shooting of 65 civilians. As touched on just before by our correspondent at the lake, there's been 43 reported deaths from consumption of poisoned water, which was leaked from the mining dam in the nearby Tagithi River, with many more currently being treated after drinking the water. Absolutely horrific scenes here in Tanzania. Back to you, Joss.
Let's cross to our subject matter expert, Ronald McDonald, to get his opinion on this.
Well, Joss, we can start to explain Acacia's actions using positive accounting theories. We know that people act in their own self-interests, and this is also true for corporations. The evidence shows that Acacia has initially acted in their own self-interest by extracting natural resources from Tanzania while providing minimal social benefits to the local communities. This is a common theme amongst mining and other extractive industries when entering countries with weak political and economic institutions, as they seek high profits at the expense of the local community. They can take advantage of the high levels of corruption, as the cost of bribes to local and national officials is minimal compared to the profits of the venture, which allows them to act with impunity until it is internationally reported.
Ronald, how does this explain the North Mara site?
The strategies Acacia have used are because they feel the need to defend themselves against any damage caused by the large number of incidents at the North Mara site. We can see that they have tried to either conceal, make excuses, or distance themselves from these incidences, attempting to reduce their responsibility and accountability. We have used both Benoit's and Goffman's research to analyse why they needed to make these positive disclosures when negative incidents had occurred, how they reported them, and what decisions they made, and our research provides a little insight into predicting what other companies will do in similar situations, as each situation will be inherently different. Here, normative accounting theory dictates that they will make positive disclosures in the wake of negative news in each situation.
Ronald, how confident are you in your analysis of the situation?
The strength of my analysis, Joss, is based upon positive accounting theories, which have been empirically tested with evidence to support them. We can see that in all circumstances, Acacia has acted in their own self-interest, firstly seeking economic profit by extracting from the local community, and secondly, by using disclosures to paint themselves in a positive light when serious allegations of misconduct arose. We hope that other people can use our study as an example in further developing positive accounting research into how companies use corporate social responsibility reporting to pursue their own self-interested objectives. Thanks for having me on the show, Joss. Now back to you.
Now crossing to Hans Gruber from Acacia. How do you respond to the statements from the expert and reporter suggesting that your reports and public statements are primarily defensive?
Yeah, thanks, James. Look, at Acacia, we can only report on our own actions and can only respond to the accusations from the media regarding the actions of others. We report on what we are doing to improve our impact on the region, despite some negative actions from others in the surrounding area. Our disclosures aren't simply a reaction to the incidents, but are showing what we are doing to improve the region with our own positive actions. For example, there have been some accusations of police brutality and human rights violations on our mining site. These accusations are pretty biased and don't actually accurately reflect our company's behaviour or view towards human rights. Any incidents that do occur on the site are due to security acting in the interest of the safety of our site and workers, as there have been a number of thieves and trespassers attempting to steal gold in the previous years. These actions by others negatively impact our company and are unfairly portrayed by the media. Another example of this is accusations that we've polluted the local water supply. We've put in measures in place to prevent contamination, such as liners in the effluent pond, but they were destroyed by vandals. However, we replaced those liners and solved the problem with the contamination out of our own pockets.
Hans, on the topic of human rights, despite what you have just said, our investigations suggest that the employees, specifically security, have little regard for human rights. Is this accurate?
Yeah, sorry, thanks, Ross. Human rights is an issue that's very important to us as a company. If there was any breach of human rights by one of our employees, this would immediately be brought to management's attention. At Acacia, we have a zero tolerance for violation of human rights, and anyone involved in such violations or criminal acts will have their employment terminated immediately. This also applies to anyone withholding information or obstructing our investigation in such behaviour. So the idea that our employees don't care about human rights, despite our policies and culture that suggest we do, it's just simply inaccurate.
What about accusations that you lack transparency in your statements regarding grievance resolution and sexual assault allegations?
Cheers, Russell. Again, this is a case of the media and non-government organisations inaccurately representing our company due to their own misinformation and misunderstanding of the confidentiality of our settlements. As a company, we are being transparent as possible without breaching the confidentiality rights of the third parties involved in our grievance resolution agreements or the allegations of sexual misconduct. The fact that we've been portrayed as being secretive by the media, when in fact we're protecting the third party's privacy, is just very disappointing.
Finally, do you want to respond to Ronald's statement that you only report to protect your own self-interests?
Yeah, Anthony, none of the data was actually collected from us. All of it was obtained from secondary sources. Anyone that's reported on the incidents weren't actually there, yet they try and report it as if they were. We were there, know the actual facts of the incidents. By Ronald's own definition, the media is also acting in its own self-interest to negatively portray us as a story about a bad company sells better than a company doing its best to be a positive influence despite the actions of others.
Ronald, can you explain these strategies?
In this case, once the news regarding poor water quality, social unrest and violence, among other issues broke, they realised it would be in their self-interest to make disclosures to mitigate the damage to the international image of the parent and entire consolidated company. The information available to the public then played a key role in the strategies they employed within their corporate social responsibility disclosures. When we examine Acacia's actions, we can see that they use four main strategies for these disclosures, each hoping to minimise the damage to their company. These were denial, evasion of responsibility, excuses, and disassociation.
That's a look at the incident at the North Mara mining site in Tanzania. We've heard a brief description of some of the incidents and the motivations behind Acacia's disclosure. Our expert describes the relevant theories behind his answer to assist us in the strengths of his argument. The representatives of Acacia showed his counter view by giving us a cause to evaluate the situation in a different light, using our experts' key theories against him. We're out of time today, but there is a lot of room for thought here. Thanks for tuning in to CIO News, and as always, good night.